This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel Strat-O-Matic Baseball Excel Game of the Week.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the game of the week in a series. That's the series of the year in the fall league, at least. Red Sox, Yankees, 77-80 fall league. We set up the drama earlier in the American League East in previous videos, but it's remarkably competitive what has to happen in this final best of five. So just to rehash, the Orioles season is finished. They're currently in first place before the Red Sox and Yankees play. Just a half game ahead of both teams. Now, the Yankees and Red Sox are tied and have to play this best of five. They cannot finish in a tie. The loser of this series is done. Season's over. If the Red Sox win the series, they win the American League East, and the Orioles are the wild card. The Orioles have a tiebreaker against the Yankees. If the Yankees win the series in 5 games, 3-2, the Yankees are a wild card team, and the Orioles win the division. If the Yankees win the series in 3 or 4 games, then the Yankees win the division. Red Sox go home, and the Orioles are the wild card. That's what is up for grabs. Just that. It's funny, these 3 teams finished within a couple games of each other in 1977. Orioles, Red Sox, and Yankees. And, yeah, this is the Yankee roll year, but it has been anything but. Just a little more notation here. The Red Sox are, of course, defending Fall League champions. They won it last year, winning the Fall League Championship against the Phillies. To the victor goes the spoils, which means that in the following year, this year, we get to decorate the scoreboard with the championship team colors. That's why this is all red and blue. And this right here, this number for the 20-sided dice roll, that is a Boston Red Sox font. So I've had to look at this hideous looking font all year long until the Red Sox are dethroned. So, what has happened? Because I never really say where I start broadcasting for you folks. I've played Game 1. Now, Yankees have home field. Games 1, 2, and possibly 5 are in Yankee Stadium. So what has happened in Game number 1? In Game 1, the Red Sox put it to them. Simply put, just took it to the Yanks. Bob Stanley, 7 innings, 1-run ball. The Yankee import Larry Sorensen, it just didn't work out. He gets knocked out after 3 2/3. They empty their bullpen. 2-0 homer, Bernie Carbo, solo shot, Yastrzemski, 4 singles in this inning. They rough up Bill Campbell in the 9th. Dwight Evans hits a homer. 10-1, Boston gets home field taken away from the Yankees. And oh boy, here we go, everybody's thinking. Red Sox, again, won the World Series last year, and the Yankees have done nothing with this incredible 77, 78, 79, 80 pedigree. My goodness, that's 2 World Series years. Plus you got 1979 Jim Spencer. You got 1980 Reggie Jackson. The only year Reggie hit 300 on this team. Has not mattered, folks. Has not mattered. So after Game 1, let's look at the standings. They're going to keep reshuffling throughout this series. So we see the Red Sox temporarily in a first-place tie with the Orioles, winning the tiebreaker. They would be the number 4 seed. Orioles be the wild card. But the Yankees, are just a game back. And if they win this game, then the Orioles will be back in first place, and the Red Sox and Yankees would each be a half game behind. You get the idea. We won't know anything until the Red Sox or the Yankees win 3 games in this series. Which brings us to Game 2 today. And in Game 2, the reason why I'm giving you this one, folks, is we got a pitcher's duel here. We've got, for the Red Sox, their ace, Louis Tiant. He will pitch Game 2 and then come back on short rest in Game 5 if necessary. And for the Yankees, it'll be Ron Guidry, 1978, 25-3. You simply have to win this game, period. End of story, Guidry. Just slam the frickin' door on the Bo Sox. That's it. Period. Done. Have to win this game by hook or by crook. And again, he would also play in Game 5, if necessary, on 3 days rest. And both teams have retooled their lineups. Let's start with the Yankees. Willie Wilson, who they acquired from Kansas City in a rather nefarious, typical Yankee money move, has done very little, so he's actually on the bench. And they got a good defensive shortstop in here, Mick Kelleher, and moved Reggie back into the outfield because their shortstop infield defense was horrible. And with Wilson out of the lineup, the Red Sox decided to give Carlton Fisk a day off and then have him fresh for the remainder of the series. So Fisk and Willie Wilson are available to come off the bench. Let's get started. Leading off for the Sox, another offseason acquisition, Tom Brookins, defensive third baseman. 68 is a K. Yastrzemski, 62, rolls to first. And Jim Rice, 1-8, base hit. And Fred Lynn, 39, is a fly ball to right. We talked a long time, a year ago, that the Red Sox don't hit left-handed pitching that well, or at least those cards a year ago didn't. In particular, Fisk, not so much. Hobson, not so much. Evans, Lynn, Rice, and to a certain extent Yastrzemski, they're all better against righties than they are against lefties. Another reason why Guidry needs to do this thing today. All right, George Zeber. Now DHing. Hoping this will kickstart this guy's card. 410 off of Tiant. Homer, if you got power, he's got it. Well, that's a great start for Zeber. He's had a disastrous year, and it'll be his final year. And he leads off the game with a solo shot. Mickey Rivers, 3-6. Let's take a look at Mick the Quick's card. 3-6, 1977, 326, 12 homers. I can't imagine a year where Mickey Rivers has 12 homers and only 18 doubles. That seems strange, doesn't it? But 3-6, homer 1 of 16 double. It is gone. They go back-to-back off Tiant. Munson. Whoops, thing over there. Thurman Munson. 45, rolls the second. Reggie, 1-6K. And Jim Spencer, 2-8. 2-8, let's take a look at Jim Spencer's card. The 79 card I was telling you about. Just destroys right-handed pitching. 2-8, homer, 1-6 double. And that's going to be a double. With 2 outs, it's Lou Piniella. 1-3, skies the center field. 2-zip, Dwight Evans. 2-8, short. Butch Hobson, 49, is a K. Rob Piccolo, 68, is a K. Greg Nettles in the bottom of the second, 37. Single 1-6, lines out on a 7. Billy Smith, 2-6, lines first. And Mick Kelleher doesn't play much, as he only hit 253. Most of that's against left-handed pitching. They just want the defense. He'll probably play short the rest of this series if he's playing it at home. You need his defense more on the road. 2-11 is a liner to second. 2-18 at short. And they're hoping that is the difference. Helps the pitching staff. We'll see. We go to the third. It's Rick Burleson. 67 is a K. John Tamargo. The legend of the 2020 World Series, or the 2020 season World Series, Game 7. The hero, John Tamargo, free beer in Boston for being the hero of Game 7 of the World Series a year ago. He gets a base hit. Tom Brookins, 38 is a K. And Yastrzemski, 5'11", is a strikeout. So Guidry has done what he's supposed to do. Zeber, 6'11" off Tiant. Pitcher X, E0. I roll for road E0s. I don't for home E0s. Mickey Rivers, 311K. And Munson, 2-8. Short. All right, a couple homers will start the game. The pitching have settled down into the fourth. Jim Rice, 212, short. Fred Lynn, 48 is a walk. The tie run is Dwight Evans. 48 against a righty is a walk. And Guidry's put some guys on in the fourth. For the Hobber, Butch Hobson, 5'11", second X. Now this is Billy Smith, a 3E16. And that is a cheap single off Billy Smith. Loading the bases for Rob Piccolo, another off-season acquisition. You see some strange names that you don't normally associate with the Red Sox. It's, well, they won the World Series last year, so they picked last in the draft, so they had to fill the roster, the ends of the roster, with fringe players from other teams. Hence Tom Brookins and Rob Piccolo and John Tamargo, and you get the idea. So here he is, Piccolo with the infield up. A-bunter, the pitch to him, 2-3's the liner of the second. And now we have the Rooster Burleson. 5-12 off Guidry is a roller to the pitcher, and he gets out of the mess. That is huge for the Yanks. 2-zip still. Bottom of the fourth. Reggie. 3-6, let's take a look at his card. So this card of 1980 does not win anything. Doesn't even go to the World Series. Losers. Reggie, it's his best year. He hits 300. Well, best year since '69, I would say. But yeah, he hit 300 with 41 bombs in 1980 for the Yanks. They won 103 games, but oddly enough, probably the best Yankee team of this era, and they would lose to the Royals in the playoffs and George Brett. But anyway, that's a solo shot. 3 solo shots for the Yanks, and it's 3-zip. Spencer, 39, double and an 8 single. Lou Piniella, 47's a K. Greg Nettles, 1-4, flies to right. And Billy Smith, 1-6, skies to right field. All right, Guidry in the fifth. Worst inning was the fourth, and Red Sox blew it. Let's see if he can settle down for the rest. Tamargo, 36, skies to left. Tom Brookins, 68 is a K. And Yastrzemski, 2-8 is a base hit for the Beast Stealer, down 3. He'll stay at first base for Jim Rice. 69 rolls to second base, and Guidry, not sparkling. He's put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys on in 5 innings, but nobody has scored, and he has struck out 7. Before we go to the bottom of the fifth, let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Ah, licorice chai, folks. Woo! That'll wet your whistle. All right, bottom of the fifth. Mick Kelleher leads it off. 112, oh boy. Strikeout plus injury. So much for the defense. Well, might as well put Willie Wilson in. He misses the first 5 innings and comes in and finishes the remainder of the game. He would be put into center field. Rivers, who was in center, would go into left field. Piniella, who was in left field, would go into right field. Reggie, who was in right field, will go to DH, and the DH, Zeber, will take Kelleher's spot at short. As you can tell, I don't use the DH substitution rules that the American League uses because I only have 20-man rosters. It's a simple substitution pattern, so there's no way with a 20-man roster I could get away with that. George Zeber, 55, short X, plus I don't want my pitchers to bat at all. So Burleson's a 2E25 at short. He makes the play. And here's Mickey Rivers, 63. He also rolls to the pitcher. Well, the 3 solo homers, is that going to be enough for Guidry? In the 6th, Sox has sent one more batter to the plate, but they're down 3. And speaking of defense, there's absolutely none left for the Yankees to bring in. So they lost the defensive player today. Fred Lynn, 2-6. Let's take a look at Fred. We talked about the team against lefties. Now he's fine against lefties. He's okay. I don't know what this is. It's like 282, maybe? Something like that. Of course, against righties, he's a wrecking ball, is Fredline. It's about 360 against righties, and, you know, with 1,000 OPS or something hideous like that. But when you have a whole lineup of guys that are imbalanced like this, it means try and get a lefties against the Red Sox as much as possible. 2-6, double 1 to 14 is a single. So instead of that being a solo homer, it sets up a potential double play. Dwight Evans, 310. Well, let's take a look at Dwight Evans. Again, you saw Lynn, and look at Evans. Again, destroys right-handed pitching, but against lefties, we're looking at a 250 hitter, 240 hitter. His on base percentage isn't even that great. Single one at 8 on 8. The role of 310 is a fly ball left field. Hobson, 1-6 is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Rob Piccolo. 1-8, single 1 to 9, rolls out on an 11. Guidry, successful through 6. Tiant, starter 7. They'll stick with him as long as you got to break him to get him out of there. Thurman Munson, 1-6, triple 1, base hit. Reggie again, 410. We saw it earlier with Zeber off the Tiant card. Automatic homer if you got power, and oh yeah, Reggie certainly does. 2-run blast for Mr. October. Actually, it's probably Mr. December at this point. But Mr. December with a 2-run bomb, and it's suddenly 5-0 Yankees trying to tie this thing up and turn this thing into a best of 3 starting in Fenway. Wow. Big finish expected in this series. Jim Spencer, 59, rolls a second. Lou Piniella, 411, rolls it to first. This is Yaz. 2E3 at first base. 1E0 in left field, and he has to play first base because they got a bazillion outfielders. Greg Nettles, 212 short. 5-zip in the 7th for Guidry. The Rooster, Rick Burleson, 2-5 short. Tamargo, 38 short. The Tamargo mystique is starting to wear thin here. Tom Brookins, 43, left X, left fielder. Who's in left field now? Mickey Rivers? Yes, he's a 3. And he makes the catch, does Mickey Rivers. Started game in center, currently in left with Wilson in center. Stretch time in Yankee Stadium. We've been listening to the disco scene of the late 70s, at Studio 54 and so forth and so on, with Schick. All the great, wonderful 12-inch dance hits in, yeah. Great, wonderful stuff from that era and timeline. You get the idea. Seems to be working. Yankees are doing fine today with the soundtrack bumping for him. 5-zip. Tiant. He'll give you another inning. Why not? Billy Smith leads it off. 35 second. Mick Keller. Oh, not Mick Keller. Willie Wilson. 2-9 as a single off his card. And now he's going to try and steal a base because Fisk is on the bench. And he's safe. With a 5-0 lead, he steals. Z-Bar. 32, pitcher. Runner second. 2 outs. For Mick the Quick. 2-5, Mickey Rivers. Triple, 1-8, single. That's going to be a base hit. That will score Wilson to make it 6-0. To add insult, Rivers will try and steal with 2 outs and a 6-run lead. He's safe and goes into second pretty hard, and Burleson doesn't like that at all. He's ticked off. Burleson and Rivers got having words here. Runner at second, 2 outs for Thurman Munson. 6-10 K off Tiant. Seen enough of him as well. All right, it's 6-0. Guidry getting the easy way out. Not much of a contest. Has throwing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hitter with 6 outs to get. Yastrzemski in the 8th, leading it off. Pops the second. Jim Rice, 6-10, short X. And that is Kelleher. Oh, it's not Kelleher. It's Z-Bar, 4-48, and that's going to be, of course, an error. Boy, I tell you, if the Yankees had more lefty starters, they don't. Figueroa, Sorensen, and Beatty. If they had like Fritz Peterson, or Dave Righetti or somebody like that. They need to like import some one of those guys if they really want to beat the Red Sox. Fred Lynn, 45. That's going to be a single. 2 on for Dwight Evans. 310 is a fly ball left. And with 2 outs, it's the Hobber, Butch Hobson. 111 is a sky to right. Bottom of the 8th. Tiant has a towel on his head. He ain't coming back out. He's had enough. He'll stay in the dugout. John Curtis. Nice, interesting lefty who gets righties out. Got a World Series ring last year. He pitched, I think he got one of the final outs in Game 7. Here he comes on in the 8th inning to face a bunch of lefties. Reggie Jackson will lead it off looking for homer number 3. 2-7. Homer 1. Fly ball the rest. And he almost did it. You got to erase one of these ones. And that's a home run. Otherwise, it's a fly ball to right. Jim Spencer will stay in the game to be defensive first. 42. Pitcher. And Lou Piniella. 66. Double 1 and 10. Double. And with 2 outs, it's Nettles. 48 is a single off Curtis to left field. Piniella, 11, 12, 13. Will not run off of Rice. Billy Smith. 1-6 is a K. Guidry trying to finish what he started. 6-0 in the 9th for Rob Piccolo. 49 is a K. The Rooster Burleson. 5-10 is a K. And Tamargo. The disinterested Red Sox didn't really need to win Game 2. They won Game 1. They just want to go home and win the next 2, is what it seems like, to begin their defense of their World Championship. An easy win for Ron Guidry. Very anticlimactic. And the teams have split 2 games and are tied again. 6-hitter, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts, and a complete game. Guidry performs like a 25-3 Cy Young winner would. Thank you, Ron Guidry, for keeping the Yankees floating. Otherwise, you could have brought your shovel out and started tossing some dirt on them. But Guidry prevents that from happening. Tiant, rough start. Do not give up on Louis Tiant. He was a starting pitcher on the mound in Game 7 of the World Series a year ago. He would pitch Game 5 of this series if it would potentially eliminate the Sox. So he'll be ready to go again. And he gave up. Everything was earned. No walks. Maybe he should have walked some guys instead of throwing it down the middle of the plate there, Louis. 5 strikeouts for Louis. 1 on double 9, 0-1-0-8, 6-11-06, 2-11-06. Game 2 in the books. At the end of this video, of course, I will give you all the wonderful results of what happens next. But let's go take a look at the box score and see what is going on with the American League East this year. Why is it so close? Why is everybody kind of struggling to put a lot of wins together? I got one answer for you. It's called Toronto Blue Jays. Toronto Blue Jays have blown a hole in all the parachutes in the American League East. Let's start down there. They are 15-17, and when you consider the era they are in and how they were an expansion team in 77, for them to go 15-17, that's like a team winning 100 games. I mean, they have just super overachieved just to get to that point. And when you get that many wins, they're going to come at the expense of the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Orioles. With the Yankee win now, look at this mess. The Orioles are currently back in first place at 2 over 500. The Red Sox 1 over, the Yankees 1 over. And percentage points, you see the Red Sox are in third place. They started in second, went to first, now they're in third after 2 games. Let's dig a little further into the stats, though, for our combatants today, the Yankees and the Red Sox. So why are the Yankees struggling? They're hitting .262 with a .394 ERA. They probably should be better in both categories. This is like a .278 hitting team with an ERA below .350, you would expect. Guidry got that win, so he's now 5-3, which is okay. Nothing special about 5-3. And also, 28 runs in 60 innings is okay. It's not bad. This doesn't warrant Cy Young. There's no Cy Young thing going on here. Nothing happening in the bullpen. Reggie does have 10 home runs, but only 21 RBI to go with those. Nettles has 21 RBI. How about this Zebra character? He's 28 for 95. That's not too bad. He's hitting close to 300 with that card. Wilson does have 10 stolen bases. Mickey Rivers has 4. Just not figuring out the best. I guess Mickey Rivers might be the best Yankee this year. He's 38 for 108 with 15 RBI. He'd probably be your Yankee MVP if there was such a thing. All right, so how about the defending world champion Red Sox? Tiant, Bill Lee, Bob Stanley, they were all there a year ago, as was Curtis and Joe Kerrigan. They were there a year ago. As far as your rotation, nobody has a winning record. Curtis is 2-0, and Kerrigan is 2-1 in the bullpen. Bradford and Bonson have wins. So your bullpen is 6-1. Go figure that out. Their bullpen was bad last year, and the rotation was good. But Louis Tiant, his ERA is over 4.5. Bill Lee, the spaceman, is getting lit up. His ERA is over 5. Stanley's doing okay. And as far as the sticks, nobody, let's see. Yaz has 9 homers, but he's been leading off all year for whatever reason, because they don't really have a leadoff guy. Fred Lynn's got 20 RBI. Yaz has 39 hits and 122 trips, hitting around 333. He's probably your MVP. Yeah, Yaz is probably their Sox MVP presently. You prefer Jim Rice or Fred Lynn to get that award. They're the destroyers of all. But it's not happening. So there's your summation. At the end of the video, we'll give you the results of what has happened, and who goes and who is going home. The series will go to Fenway Park. I'll give you a shout out at the rotations here. Game 3 in Boston, Jim Beattie for the Yankees against Steve Ranko. Game 4, the number 2 guys for each squad. Ed Figueroa against the spaceman, Bill Lee. In a very important game for the Red Sox if they win 2 straight. And then if they split in Fenway, Game 5 is back in Yankee Stadium. The same matchup you just saw, Louis Tiant and Ron Guidry. That's it tonight. Hope you're enjoying this wild finish of the American League in the Fall League. We'll see you next time. Well, folks, let's show you what happened. This is the Game 2 result. Yankees won, of course. We got the split. Then in Fenway Park for game number 3. It is Jim Beattie and Steve Ranko, a couple of starter 5-6s. Don't expect neither to pitch deeply in the game. Neither did. In the first inning, 2 outs, an error by Ranko. Seemed innocent at the time. But then the Yankees got a triple by Reggie, a homer by Spencer, and a double and a walk, and they get a 3-0 lead. These are the world champion Red Sox. They come battling back. A 2-run bomb by Yastrzemski in the 3rd. Then a 3-run bomb by Hobson in the 4th to take a 5-3 lead. Another homer by Jim Spencer in the 5th. It's 5-4. Another homer by Carbo makes it 7-4, 8-4, 8-5. Red Sox reclaim home field. They're up 2-1. Can they finish off the Yankees in Game 4? Well, if the music was the cue, you'd know they did, because the series never got back to Yankee Stadium. Game number 4, the courageous Ed Figueroa and Bill Lee. And folks, nothing's going on through 6 innings. Bunch of outs. A 3-hitter for the spaceman. Figueroa with a no-no. But the Yankees, again, a dysfunctional team. All they're doing is hitting center X's to Freddie Lynn, who's a Gold Glove center fielder. That's a center X out. 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 You keep hitting the fly balls to Freddie Lynn, you're not going to get on base. Bottom of the 7th, Freddie Lynn. You remember him. I just said his name like 5 seconds ago. Ruins the no-hitter with a single in the 7th inning. A double by Rice. You have 2nd and 3rd. And they go to the pen for Sparky Lyle. It's a interesting move. Questionable, but when you look how bad the Red Sox are against lefties, it makes sense. Anyway, Dwight Evans hits a ground ball to 3E16 Billy Smith. He boots it, a run scores, and then the Rooster Burleson gets a 2-out single to make it 2-zip. Billy gets 3 more outs in the 8th. He's taken out of the game with a 3-hit shutout and retiring 11 in a row. Talk about questionable moves. This looked like a questionable move to bring in Lyle in the 7th. But the Red Sox have a capable closer, Stan Bonson. He gives up a leadoff double to Willie Wilson off of Jim Rice's glove. And then he gets the next 3 batters out. He strikes out Mickey Rivers, and then Reggie Jackson is the tie run with 2 outs in the 9th. He hits a fly ball to the left, just short of the monster. The Red Sox win the series 3-1. Your defending world champions are back again, folks. They win the American League East over the Orioles. Let's set you up now for the playoffs. Look at some stats before we do a wrap here. Unbelievable. Dysfunctional Yankees. I don't know what to say. Just underachieve. There it is. Red Sox win the division. Orioles half game back wild card, and the Yankees only a half game ahead of the Toronto Blue Jays. Massive overachievement. Massive underachievement. That's what you have in a 30-game sample size. Sorry, Yanks, just didn't do it. You know who else has a losing record? These guys out west. Yep, the Dodgers and the Yankees played back-to-back World Series in 77-78. Not anymore. Your American League playoffs. Ohio Players expansion, top seed, they get a bye. California Angels, number 2 seed, get a bye. The 3-seeded Brewers, the deserving Brewers with a .655 winning percentage, can't get a bye. They, unfortunately, in a 1-game playoff, it'll be Dennis Martinez for the Orioles against Mike Caldwell for the Brewers in the playoff game. And then finally, your world champion Red Sox in the wild card playoff game, they will send Louis Tiant at home against the surprising Seattle Mariners. If you got money on this one, my goodness. The Seattle Mariners will play the Red Sox in the wild card game with Floyd Bannister, a lefty. Remember we said the Red Sox aren't good against lefties. Floyd Bannister against Louis Tiant. That's your American League playoff scenario. Thanks for checking it all out. We'll see you next time.